Hello, everyone. Welcome to Smart Investing. I'm Albert, host of the channel, and today is Saturday, April 23rd, 2022. So, today, this video is going to be part one of part two of the special dividend paying companies for the month of April. So, I forgot how many companies I have on the list, but we're going to go over them. I have one company that has like different classes. Like it's a lot of classes, but we're going to look at each of them, those classes, and see which one's the one that actually pays the special dividend paying company. So, the first one up that we're going to go over, we're going to start from the bottom all the way to the top. So we have the first one is NHD Jubilee Indus. So again, we're just strictly going to go for the special dividends and see if they actually paid. So this one was on my list. Again, each company that we're going to go over, it's not guaranteed that they pay a special dividend paying company. But through my research, there is a high likely because of what the notifications that I received stating that they might pay one, but it's not certain. So this is why I'm going over these companies. So again, it's not guaranteed, but we're going to go over them anyway to see if they did pay. So it looks like they haven't paid that one. So next one up that I have is Costamare. As you can see, there are three different classes that I have for this stock. And we're going to see which is the correct one. I believe it's the last one. So I'm going to click on this one, CMRE. Let's click on the original one. So yes, this one looks pretty active just by looking at the numbers. Earnings look pretty strong. We're going to look at the dividend that they pay. So as we can see here, they did pay a special dividend, but we're going to see how much did they pay. So they had no splits. Special dividend. So they did pay special dividend of 11 cents. Again, this is not a reoccurring special dividend. They're not paying a special dividend every year. It just happened to be that they paid one for this year. So they paid the same date as the regular dividend, as you can see here. So basically, you have a total of 72 cents instead of 61 cents. Again, that doesn't seem like a lot, but if you add it up for just one share, that's just one share. So we're looking at a 11 cents difference. If you get 100 shares, you're looking at about $10 per share. And mind you, this stock is pretty cheap at $15. So, all those numbers add up, is what I'm saying. So again, special dividends, gotta love them. So next one up that I have, we're gonna go over the different classes. So CMRE-PRD, we're gonna look at that. It looks pretty inactive, but we're gonna see if they pay a special dividend for that one. Again, I don't know what Costamare does. I'm not really interested in that, but if I have time, we can look at it. So it doesn't look like they pay a special dividend for that one. Then we have another inactivity for this second class, and it looks like they pay a dividend, but they did not pay a special dividend. Now let's go back to the original A class, CMRE, and let's look at what they do. So they do marine freight and logistics, but we're going to look at the title and description of the company and see exactly what they do. So it says transportation services around the world. That is definitely important. And they're basically delivering imports, but from where it does not say. I don't see. Okay, so it looks like it's from, I believe that's China. And these other locations, I don't know where they're at, but it sounds like they are out east, because out west, I already know most of the countries out west, but on the eastern hemisphere, there's so many shipping ports and stuff that I just don't know the names of these smaller countries and cities and whatnot. So again, they basically do shipping services uh through, obviously through ship only, and that's what they specialize in. I do not know how long they have been around, but let me see if something comes up. And again, even in the profile, they never show the year of when the company started. I mean, you guys can always look that up and research that. You could use Wikipedia or Stockopedia. Stockopedia is definitely a good site for stocks and research. I use that one since day one, since I started. Always useful and free site, obviously. So the company overall looks okay. They grew their revenue intensely for 2021. So we're going to look at the financial details. This company looks like a really good company. They look like they see in 2021 they grew by so much, and in 2020 they had a pretty bad year. So definitely 2021 made up for 2020. And if you were to average out those margins, you're definitely looking at above 20%, even if it was a 2 year or 5 year time frame. So this company looks like a really good company, actually. Now that I am looking at it, they have enough cash flow. They're growing their sales. They definitely grew it in 2021. Their debt grew a little bit more, but understandable. In 2021, they are posting some really strong numbers, like their best years. Out of the last 5 years, 2021 has been their year. I think this company might grow. But let's look at the chart. Let's look at the 1 year chart. So obviously in January 2022, start of 2022, it was a down year for most of the stocks. But for this company, they pretty much grew. They grew around, I mean, it's not much, $3, but if they continue to do good coming into this quarter and the next quarter, while in a down, in a downtrend market, in a bear market, we're in a bad market right now. If they continue to hold up and still do pretty decent, this stock can really be a good watch list. Again, I can't make any recommendations. So again, I'm offering my disclaimer. I'm not an official and licensed and insured advisor. So please consult one. Again, they'll make recommendations for you. They'll make price points, certain stocks, and obviously when to buy and when to sell, all that good stuff. Again, I can't make those recommendations because I'm not licensed or insured. So please consult one. And again, the stock market does carry huge risk as well as great rewards. So moving on to the next stock. Again, I'm not making any recommendations, but what I can say personally to myself, I think this will make a good watch list for this stock. It seems like a growth stock soon to be. And again, if they can break highs They can definitely do some damage. And this is not a small company. I mean, they're a $1.87 billion company. This is a small cap company. It looks like they're undervalued as well. But again, I'd say if they do pretty good this quarter and the next quarter coming up, and even if they go flat throughout the whole, towards the end of the year, through this whole year, I think they'll still do pretty good for net margins and revenue and net income, everything. I think that this company is pretty good. Oh, but I don't know what's going on with their other share classes. So moving on to the next stock, we have so many classes for this stock. They are called Partners Value. I'm going to start from the bottom up because this company has so many classes, and I need to see if they did pay any special dividends. So for this class, it doesn't look like it. So we're moving on to the next one. I don't think this is an American company, just so you guys know. So if you are interested in companies, again, do your due diligence. I'll be more than happy to tell you and show you that this is not an American company. And usually they'll say in the profiles it is an ADR, and basically it's a receipt stating, that it's not a U.S. company. So we have here nothing for press releases, so they're not paying a dividend for that class. So I'm still searching. Okay, it looks like they paid a dividend, so they're paying Canadian. Again, no special dividends. I'm going to move on to the next one. Again, that's an OTC market, so this is more of a private market, which I do not like. Still horrible market that they're in. Another horrible market that they're in. So moving on to the next one. Looks pretty flat there as well. So I think that's all I have, and then that was it for the stock. So I guess that stock did not pay a special dividend. Next one up, I have Capital One Financial. I'm sure many of you have heard for that stock, COF. So we're gonna click into that one. This stock is a pretty active stock, but we're gonna see if they actually pay a special dividend. Again, they're not a bank, but they do consumer lending. Again, I don't know what type of loans they do and the amounts and all that, but I'm sure this company does pretty good because I've heard of them. So they did pay a special dividend in 2021. So as you can see here, they did do 5 payments. And as you can see here, they cut the dividend in 2020. And the first half of 2020 was fine. Second half of 2020 wasn't too good. They cut the dividend. But again, they rebounded and they started to pay the same amount. And then they increased in the second half of 2021. So this company, just by the dividends, increasing dividends, those increases look pretty good. But we're going to dive a little deep and see even if they are a good company anyway. So we're going to look at the 5-year chart real quick. While that loads up, we're going to look at some numbers up top. Guys, this is like a strong company. I mean, look at the market cap. Pretty strong. 52-week high and low of a difference of, we're talking about $55, so that's pretty good. Active company, we have 2.46 million of volume. So that generates the usual activity pretty much. That's all I can say. It's just active buying and selling of the stock pretty much. That's what it is all about. And we have here dividend yield and dividend payment 2.4 and a dividend yield percentage of 1.7. So we're going to look at the 5-year chart. It's still holding pretty good. They haven't really dipped too much. The 1 year looks okay, pretty flat. See, now we look at the 3-month. It's dropped a little bit from a high of about 160 all the way down to 125. So that is a big dip. So then we're going to jump into the company financials for a little bit real quick. They performed really, really good. As you can see, slightly higher revenues. Big jump from net income. So they're doing something right. Strong earnings. Really high debt, but I'm sure they can afford it. Now we're going to look at a deep dive for the financials. So you can see their estimates for 2021. They've beaten all estimates. And 2021 seems like a really good year for this company. I don't have net margins. Let's see, their debt is about the same. I wish they had net margins to show me, because that would really show a lot. Again, I wish I had more information, but from what I'm seeing, the company looks pretty good. They went down on cash flow a lot. So the stability of the dividend might come into play, but we're going to look at the net income. So they had a net income of about 12.4 billion. So they can afford the dividend, but they need to slightly lower their debt and obviously do a little bit better on revenue and keep more of their net income, because they can still use a lot of that net income to cover the cash flow and dividends. But I want to see how high the margins are. I don't have that information, but again, with that high of earnings, you don't find companies that are that strong. So moving on to the next one, that company does look pretty strong. So moving on to the next one, BSET, Bassett Furniture Industries, or Industrials, I believe, or let's get the proper name, Industries. They do home furnishings, and we're going to see the dividend per share. So we have here, they did pay a special dividend in 2020. Again, this doesn't show and it doesn't say special dividend, but for that payment, that counts as a special dividend, I would think. So, I mean, if you look at the 2021 payments, you see here 4 payments, 1 each quarter. And then for 2022, again, they only paid 14 cents and then the dividend of 1.5. So that is a high payment. So we're going to look at the net income and revenue. So it looks pretty strong. So we have the debt at 60%. And we have the chart of the 5-year. We have the chart of the 5-year. It was going up, then it went down, and now it's pretty flat. So we're going to look at the last 3 months. It's only gone up slightly, then gone down, then it's gone flat. Looks like a pretty decent company. Very, very small cap company. It'll be nice for a watch list. That's all I can say. And even though, again, they're flat, these guys are still paying strong dividends. You know, raising dividends as well. So just want to cover that, as you can see. I mean, it's only 2 cents difference, but again, a raise is a raise. So that is definitely always good. So the next company up we have is FSBW. We have that at $30. It looks really, really flat. I do not like that chart. We're going to look at the 5-year. It looks pretty inactive. I'm going to say to stay away from that company. Again, the banking sector and the banking sector services is a really, really hard sector to choose from of these companies, because every once in a while they might get active, and then you might buy into it as a day trade, but then get right out. Same day, same week, same month. Whatever the action is, happens, So whatever happens, happens. And decent earnings. They don't pay that much in dividends. But again, we're here for the special dividends. The dividends seem random. They don't seem consistent. Let's look at the 2021 numbers. So they paid rising dividends. See, 20 cents in 2019. Excuse me. Then 2020. 21 cents, 21 cents, 21 cents. Then 26 cents, 27. Then they cut in the dividend in 2021. And they still raised it for 2022. Now, again, this company looks very inactive, so I'm going to say stay away from it. And the next one up that I have is PEF.DF OTC market. Definitely no. Even if they did pay a special dividend, I'm going to say no. So moving on to the next one. We have P34 Delphi Limited SGX market index. I don't know what index that is for the country. I don't even know if it's a major market. So with that cheap of a stock, I'm going to say no right off the bat. But again, we're here for the special dividends. And we're going to see if they did pay a special dividend. And it looks like no, they did not. So moving on to the next one. Let's see what they do. So they do food processing. But I'm going to say no. So we have the company Americo, which is actually U-Haul. We have here really high earnings of 56. Somewhat active. They are decent sized company for market cap, about 10.73 billion. So then we have the dividends. We have, see, this company, I've seen this company before with the special dividends. I've had it in our previous videos. They do pay special dividends frequently, but they don't pay that much. And again, they do not pay regular dividends. Again, if you want to find special dividend paying companies, it'll be really useful and good to see if they actually pay dividends first, and then secondary would be the special dividends. That's the way things work. But if they're only going to pay a special dividend, special dividends are like bonuses. They're inconsistent. You don't know how much it's going to be. You don't know when. It just varies. It could be 1 time, 2 times, 3. You just don't know. Again, so that's why it's called a special dividend. Because it's not a consistent payment. It's just a random payment if and when you get it. So again, Americo, which owns U-Haul, they are a special dividend paying company. So they did raise their revenue, net income in the past 3 years slightly went up. But their best year for net income was 2018. So far, it looks like their best year out of the last 5 years, their best year was 2018 thus far. From what I'm seeing, it looks like they're undervalued. But again, I just do not like the company just because they don't pay regular dividends. I rather see them pay regular dividends first, and then they can pay special dividends on top of that. So again, if you want to look into that company, U-Haul, and again, they're very, very expensive at $547 per share. You could find better companies that'll give you just regular dividends instead of just trying to capture the special dividend. So again, they specialize really in ground freight and logistics. So let's move on to the next one. EWCZ. Very volatile stock, and $25.06 a share as of right now. The company is called European Wax Center. So they did pay a special dividend, as you can see here in the ticker tape, 3.3 per share for the special dividend. And we're going to look at the profile. So they do personal services, and we're going to see if they paid any regular dividends. So no, they did not. And again, that was the actual amount for, it says dividend here, but in actuality, this was actually the special dividend. So again, just by the amount, because those are infrequent payments. So I'm glad to see that it actually was a special dividend, not a regular dividend, even though I didn't say it. So we're going to dive deep into this company real quick. They seem okay. As you can see, a small amount of competitors, only about, let me see, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 companies for personal services. We're going to read about what they do exactly and see if this company is actually a growth company. So, European Wax Center is a franchisor operator of out-of-home waxing services. The waxing services include, so it says, laser hair removal, sugaring, and threading. I'm assuming they target towards women, basically of any age, obviously over 18. They actually do hair removal consisting of Brazilian waxing, brow waxing, and body waxing, facial hair waxing. So they do have some sort of technology. Oh, but it says they use technology for their automated appointments. But I'm sure they use some sort of technology for hair removal. Again, they might even also use natural products, but to each their own. Whatever they have to do to earn revenue, they're gonna do. So it says also, it looks like they sell hair serums, wipes, lotion, oils, deodorant, all that good stuff. For whatever women products that they use. So now we're gonna dive deep into the numbers here. So again, this is a $1.6 billion company, so that's not too bad. That's their first payment. So the debt is at 44%. So we're still gonna deep dive real quick, since this is the last company. So it looks like in Q1 of 2021, they were not profitable. They started to become profitable in Q2 of 2021. Hopefully they can stay profitable. So that was nice of them to share a special dividend just when they started to become profitable. people like me look at that, and hopefully that can attract more attention to big firms, to the big money, all these Wall Streeters. I'm sure they like to see those big dividends coming in, even the bonus dividends. So their debt is not too high, which is good. And again, this is a company that's starting to be profitable, so they might become a growth company. And out of the last 3 years, it looks like 2021 has been their best year, obviously. But overall, again, it looks like 2021 has been their best year thus far. So they have plenty of cash flow to cover dividends if they wanted to. But I think they did the right move just to pay a special dividend, and they can go from there. So we're going to look at the 52-week high and low. So the numbers look good financially. So 52-week high and low. We're going to look at some technicals. So we have a difference of about 17 bucks. That is pretty good compared to 10. I'm used to seeing 10. I've seen $10 difference for the whole year, especially for the banking sector. So 17, that's pretty nice to see. And I do not have a PE ratio. I do have forward-looking earnings, which is at 73. So that is definitely high growth. They are at $25 as of right now, but let's just look at the chart real quick. And we have here a big drop. I just don't like these big drops. I mean, we have a big spike up, another big spike up, but then we have these drops here. Then we have another big drop, another spike up, but then another big drop. So that looks like the current trend. Big spikes up, and then it'll stay flat for a little bit, maybe a few weeks, a few days, and then it drops right back down. So we have that common drop. Let's look at the 1 year. Very, very volatile. And then especially in 2022, you have the W there. So it looks like a double bottom. The double bottom at around, so let's look at those numbers. A double bottom at around $22. And a double top. A double top of about 30. So it needs to just break that range. So you have a range between 23 and 30. So it needs to break that 30 range. Once it breaks around that 30 range, it would have to break the high of the year, which was about $33. And then from there, it just needs to take off. So, I mean, it's doable for the end of the year. But again, with the stock market, with this volatility, one can only tell. One can't tell. So the only thing is just, add it to the watch list, keep an eye on it, and that's the best you can do. So that is all I have for you guys. I hope I have provided some feedback that is informative for you. Thank you guys for watching my research and information. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two from my channel. If you like the video, you can like it. If you want to comment, you can comment. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. So part 2 will come either sometime next week or the week after. I still have to get my notifications of the special dividends for the rest of the month. So I'll probably do it towards that last week of April and make sure I have all the information that I need for the special dividends for the part 2 of this video. So thank you guys for watching. Any feedback will be appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next month, and I'll continue the special dividends.